Hi, I'm your host, Dylan Michelle for TBC in TV News Network. Today's guest is a very near and dear friend of mine whom I've had the pleasure of knowing for many years. An interior designer based in New York City, Jessica has encompassed various areas of design, including residential, and staging various luxury properties in Manhattan, designing exhibition spaces for galleries in New York and Miami. Jessica's designs have been featured in various countries throughout Europe, Asia, and North America. So with all that, I just want to say, hey, Jessica, and thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Dylan. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. I was very excited when I received a message from you that you wanted to have this chat with me today. So thank you so much for inviting me to your show.
And we're very excited that you're excited, and I'm excited to have you. So
Wonderful.
with that, I just want to ask, just so our viewers know, what influenced you to pursue a career in interior design?
Well, my passion for design started at a very young age. Well, my mother, she is big into design and decorating as well. She was the person who designed our home growing up. So we had a lot of design books and a lot of design magazines in the house. And I remember just sifting through them when I was younger, just being fascinated at the design and the colors and the different landscapes. It just was very cool. Just I remember just going through each page, just being like, I want to go here, or I love this. Um, and then when we go on vacation, we would always see historical landmarks, just learn a little bit about architecture wherever we went. And then it didn't really click to me that it could be a profession until I was in high school. A neighbor of mine, she noticed every time I went to her home that I would always kind of like rearrange some things like on her table or a chair here or there. She's like, I think you'd be really good at interior design. You should think about taking a course or two. And I did, and I just fell in love with it. It was just so natural for me, and it's who I am today, and I still do it.
And it's funny, it's even more fascinating when you have friends and family that help cultivate your creative talents.
Yes, just so fortunate to have friends and family, like you said, to help support my creative journey. So I'm very happy for that.
So, for the viewers that don't know you, what was one of the most successful spaces you designed?
Ooh, good question. Well, one of the most successful places, or should I say one of the top five most successful places, uh, at this point in time, I was working for American fashion designer Ralph Lauren, and we I was designing a store for one of his brands, and we were challenged to change the entire store design DNA of the brand, change the DNA of the brand from what it currently was at the time to a brand new store design concept. And typically that takes like 5 to 6 years, but our challenge was to do this in like 2.5 to 3 years. And we were able to we were able to successfully come up with a brand new store design concept,
Hmm.
and it was in Las Vegas. So I am just proud at the amount of time it took from all the different teams, including myself, to create this store. I It will always be one of my top five.
And what was one of your favorite parts about the store design?
So the whole store was brand new. There was nothing from the past that remained in the new store concept, but
Hmm.
so it was all my favorite. But if I had to pinpoint one specific design element that was my favorite, I could say maybe it's the fitting rooms. We're very large, grand fitting rooms with
Hmm.
a special lighting feature. So being in New York City, most of the time we're walking by foot, excuse me. So, you kind of have to like add layers or remove layers to change the to change your outfit from day to evening. So in this fitting room, there is three light uh, changes that you can do. You can see how your outfit look that you're trying on in the daytime, how it looks, and then in the evening time, when the lights are a little bit more dim, you look at this specific type of way. Or if you're at a party, there's like the fun light setting. So that was definitely a surprise for all of us. And the customers that come in, they also really say that the feedback has always been like they really love this feature as well. Most stores typically have one light setting, so it was quite the talk of our Vegas store, might we say.
And what's even more awesome, a lot of people may not know, but one of the best parts about being in Vegas is getting all dressed up. Yeah, that was one of my favorite.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why we had that fun party setting because just in case you purchase our clothing, and you go to one of these events that you just mentioned, like you knew how amazing you looked without like before you even arrived because the light setting was on party mode. So it's amazing. I love it. I love that light.
So, what was some of the challenges you faced designing the Las Vegas store?
Definitely the wall color. I could tell you we were all stressing about the wall color. The wall color
Hmm.
was definitely an issue. So by the time I arrived to the store, I had 4 days before the next crew came to install what they needed to for the store opening. So I arrived on site and we hired this crew to do this Venetian wall plaster treatment that takes a few days to apply on the walls. It's not like regular paint where you just paint and a couple hours later it dries.
Hmm.
This paint takes a few layers and then it darkens and lightens and then it's like this whole mix and match formula. But when we arrived, it was the wrong color and it was so stressful, might I must say.
That does sound stressful, and to add, it sounds like a complete nightmare. What initiative did you take to overcome that challenge that you experienced with the wall colors?
Well, besides freaking out, we had to hire more staff to come in that short 4 day period. They had pulled like three all-nighters trying to get the color corrected. They didn't have enough time to start from scratch, but uh like literally by the time I was handing the store over to the next crew, the walls were like drying into the color that we had originally chosen. So
Oh my gosh.
by the grace, it was just a miracle that they were able to change the wall color in that short amount of time. But to be honest, I think this is the first time I'm ever telling this story. So not that many people know. So that's a fun fact about our Vegas store is that the wall color was wrong when we first arrived and we had to fix it.
Well, that
But
does,
that's the fun part about design.
and that is a nightmare indeed. I was just gonna say, I don't know if I could handle myself as gracefully as you did.
Yeah. Uh,
Well, I'm sorry.
no, 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 please.
I was just gonna say thank you for sharing. But before I end this interview, what advice would you give your younger self or others interested in pursuing this path in interior design?
That's a really good question. I wish someone had asked me that question when I was younger. But being older and being more experienced, I would definitely say that to always follow your heart. Your intuition is for you to live in it, and you just always have to trust your intuition because it's what's guiding you in your journey. So once you just follow your heart, like the at the end of the day, the experience is just well worth it. And it's your journey to live. And yeah, so I would definitely say to follow your heart and trust your intuition. It
Mm.
might not always seem that way, but at the end of the day, it's well worth it.
Because with a little intuition, a lot of people don't know that it will take you a very long way.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
so, as much as I hate to wrap things up, this is all the time we have. And I'd like to thank you for sharing your story with me and the viewers. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I wish we had more time today.
Me
I
too.
hope to be back on your show at another time, Dylan.
And I'm sure you will. I'm sure people will love you just as much as I do. But for now, I just want to say this is Dylan Michelle signing off with TBC NTV News Network. I'm your host, and I want to say stay blessed and grateful.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.